So let me show you 10 advanced Photoshop hacks that I use for my architecture images and instantly improve the way I show my renders, collages, and plants. So let's start. Okay, so my first advanced hack is using the Generative AI Fill tool, but with a special trick that makes your generations much more precise and with better quality. So if you have used the AI Fill tool in Photoshop, what you probably did was create a rectangular marquee selection of a certain area in your image. Then you type the prompt, like for example, palm bushes, and you clicked on enter. Now, what normally would happen is that you would get this very low quality assets, and in addition, it would also mess up your image a lot. So as you can see here, it would invent some stuff that wasn't there, and overall just change my image and make it look very, very poor and bad. So my hack for this is first to not use the marquee tool, but use the selection brush. So here you want to make sure this brush, which you can find right here, is at an opacity of about 30 to 40%. This way the AI model understands what is beneath the image and tries to blend it as best as possible with the new image. So for example, here I'm going to paint in a quick palm bush. It's not going to look perfect, but it's going to have more or less the form, scale, and position of the bush that I want. Next, I will click on Generative Fill and let's type again palm bushes. But before clicking on generate, I will go to the models and select the latest Firefly Fill and Expand model. This is one of the new models of Firefly that are integrated into Photoshop and have overall better precision and better resolution. So now after this, I'm going to click on generate. And in a few seconds, Photoshop gives me these palm bushes, which if we take a closer look at them, you can see that they look really good. Then they don't, as you can see, they don't modify their surroundings at all. And you can also, the actual quality of the image is so good. You can also do this with people extremely well. So I will go to my selection brush and select these two characters that from the render engine do not look that good, right? So I'll select them and type a prompt to create them with all of the same elements and all the same characteristics. Now, when clicking on generate, this is the result that we can get. It's pretty good. It's pretty good if you ask me. And here are some additional vegetation and assets that I created using this same technique. An important step is when painting the area of selection, you do want to give it a form that resembles the final image. You don't want to, just create any form whatsoever. If you're not careful with your selection, you might not get the best results. Now for hack number 2, I will use the Harmonize tool to blend my cutouts with my render in a fast and straightforward way. Now all you have to do is import your cutout, then scale it and place it in the correct area and click on Harmonize. And in a matter of seconds, we can the incredibly precise and detailed job that Photoshop does. It creates really good shadows on the ground, and it even switches the lighting direction of my cutout. So before, the light was coming from the right side, but it somehow matched it to the direction of the sun in the image, making it look like it's coming from the left side. Of course, you can do this with different elements, but cutouts are the ones that we use the most within architectural renders. And if you've ever done this without this tool, you can know that it was pretty much a nightmare. You could take a while to do it and it still would not look good. Now for hack number 3, we're going to add some texture and cohesiveness to my image with the Camera Raw filter. Now the Camera Raw filter is probably one of the best tools that Photoshop has, but for this specific hack, I want to focus solely on how we can add better detail and texture to our image. So what I'll do first is merge the whole image by pressing Ctrl-Shift-Alt-E. Then I'll convert the layer into a smart object. In case probably I want to make any modifications later down the road, this is a non-destructive workflow. Now I'll go into the Camera Raw filter, and here we want to focus on 2 specific tabs, the Effects tab and the Detail tab. In the Effects tab, I'm going to increase the texture to about 20 points. Then I'm going to reduce the dehaze value just a bit while also adding a little bit of grain as well. Now in our Detail tab, I'm going to increase the sharpening of my image. This helps the image have a finer detail and look better from far away. Now, if we press OK and turn our Camera Raw filter layer on and off, we can see how this adds some extra punch to this image and it looks really good. I mean, I don't know if you can tell it from the screen, but trust me, it looks much better. Now, if you're new here, my name is Steven and I am the creator of Show It Better. I create videos that teach architects how to communicate their ideas visually. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us continue creating free videos for everyone and funds our passion, which is creating architecture images. Now, for our fourth hack, I will be using the fill and expand option to expand my image and almost, zoom out and have more screen real estate to work with. So I'll select my crop tool or just select C on your keyboard. Then I'll expand the area of my render in all directions, obviously making sure the building is still at its center. Now I'll select the generative expand option, and in the models, I'll make sure the latest model is selected, which is the one that we used previously. And then I'll click on generate. So as you can see, the quality, resolution, and precision of the expanded area is so good. It really resembles and mimics the lighting, the vegetation, and overall the urban design proposal, which is really hard to get. Oh, and if you want to see a tutorial on how I created this aerial image in the first place, click on this link right here on top, or you can just visit my channel and you'll see the aerial image right there in a huge thumbnail. The next advanced hack is changing the color of the vegetation very quickly using the camera raw filter. I always find that the color of the vegetation straight out of the render engines still lacks that extra bit of realism and color accuracy in their image. So almost 90% of the time, I always correct my greens and my yellows in Photoshop with the camera raw filter. So for this, you want to again merge your image by pressing Ctrl-Shift-Alt-E and turn it into a smart object. Then go to camera raw filter, and here we only want to use the color mixer tab. So we're gonna jump straight into the hue tab, and here I can modify the hues of my greens and yellows very quickly. So for example, if I wanted an autumn-ish kind of vegetation, I can drag all of the sliders to the left, and that's it. You have an autumn style image. But in this case, I want my vegetation to look greener and a little bit more desaturated. So I'll drag the green a bit to the right as well as my yellow. This will make a more stark contrast with the building color. Then, since the vegetation is extremely saturated, or at least for my taste, I'll go into the saturation tab and decrease the saturations for my greens. And I can also increase the saturation of reds and oranges, which is the color of the building. And bonus, you can also go to luminance right here and decrease the luminance of the red and orange, therefore making the building stand out much more. And after I press OK and see the before and the after, you can see a huge difference. Before, it all looked saturated, and after, the building is now the main protagonist of the image. Now for hack number 6, we will use the Generative AI Upscale tool to take advantage of our aerial image and get a lot of high quality close-up renders of each area. So after saving my final aerial render, I'll use the crop tool and crop the image only in a certain area of the building that I want to zoom in on. Now, normally when doing this, the quality of the image will drop a lot because, I'm basically cropping and zooming into the image. But with the upscaler in Photoshop, I can literally create another high quality render. Now, all I have to do is just go to Image, go to Generative Upscale, and here I can choose the model as well as how much I want the upscale to be. You want to make sure the image is the right size to be upscaled. If it's too big, Photoshop will not let you upscale it. So you'll have to go into your image settings, decrease the image size, and then you can use the upscaler. And here I'll leave it at 2x and click on upscale. And after a few seconds, this is the final result. This is what it looks like before, and this is what it looks like after the upscale. Pretty cool, right? It's basically like if we rendered another image all together. It's a very high quality. Now, I want to take a moment to talk about our incredible resource library that we have been building for more than 5 years now, with a ton of free and paid resources that you can use in your drawings, plans, illustrations, and we even have some cool portfolio templates. We sell these resources for those of you that want to level up your drawings and probably don't have the funds to enroll in a $50 course. but can invest a few bucks into a high quality resource pack, or probably just want both as well. And some of our best selling packs include our landscape vegetation pack, our material patterns pack, our portfolio collection, and our broadleaf trees, and our maximalist series pack. They come in formats like CAD, PNG, Photoshop brushes, Adobe Illustrator files, you name it, and they're compatible with the majority of the design software. So if you want to use some cool resources, use the discount code HACKS at checkout for 20% off any of our packs in our store. Or you can also purchase every resources that we have ever created or will create in the future with our everything pack. It's just one price, no subscription, and lifetime updates to all future packs. Now for our 7th hack, we are going to use this collage render that I created. And what we're going to do here is add some foreground vegetation using a mix of our brush and textures to achieve something like this. So first thing we'll do is import a texture that I've saved, which is this green paint texture where you can see the brush strokes. It's very tactile kind of image. Then I'll go to edit and click on define pattern. Now I'll go back to my base file and create a new layer. Here I'll select a white color and right click for my brushes window. Here you can use whatever brushes you have at hand. I'm using our pine trees brushes from our pine trees pack, which you can download from our resource library. Then I'll select different brushes and start painting in the foreground of my image. Since this is a collage render, I want it to look as picturesque and painterly as possible. I really want to emphasize the foreground, the middle ground, and the background separation. Now after I've painted everything, I'll right click on the layer, go to blending options, and then go to pattern. Here I'll look for the last pattern I imported, which is this one right here. I'll increase the scale and also modify the rotation to make the brush strokes look, in a vertical format. Then I'll press OK, and voila, I have a really nice textured foreground that gives a nice tactile collage-ish touch to my image. From here, I can keep on adding any brush that I want to paint. Now for hack number 8, what I usually do when working on such detailed illustrations, I love to create a new viewport of the same file. So similar to AutoCAD, I can go to Window, I can go to Arrange, and then select Create a New View for this current file. Then all I have to do is go back to the Window tab, go to Arrange, and select the arrangement that you want best. So I'm going to select on Split Vertically, and now I have my illustration in 2 different views. So in one, I'll leave it zoomed out so I can see what changes I'm creating, and in the second one, I can zoom in and keep adding details, like textures, brushes to my image, and see all the changes instantly in my other window, which for me, this is a really useful hack. Now for hack number 9, I'll add some patterns to my floor plan in a very quick and easy way. So create a new layer, select the wand tool, click inside the areas you want to texture, in this case the bathroom and the laundry space, then fill your selection with white. Here you can just press Alt and backspace. Now go to blending options, pattern, and I'll select the pattern from my material patterns pack, which we've created now 2 different versions of, and they're really good. And I'll select this pattern right here. And then I'll modify the scale, the opacity, and the overall positioning of the image. Then I'll press OK and change the blending mode to multiply. Now to intensify it, I can just quickly duplicate it with Ctrl J, or just duplicate the layers. And I can repeat the same process for other areas of my house. And this is what it looks like. Oof, it just adds so much texture. It looks so good. And finally, for hack number 10, I'll add some nice soft shadows to my floor plan. So you've probably seen that when you separate your walls into a different layer, then you click on blending options and click on drop shadow, you do get a nice drop shadow, but you're limited to a certain distance, right? Because if you start increasing the distance like this, it would look really weird, and then there won't be any soft shadows, but just like a duplicate of your actual wall. So what I like to do is I like to add layers, or like to add many layers of drop shadows to have a long continuous drop shadow. So for this, I'll activate the first drop shadow adjustment. I'll increase the opacity, decrease the distance just a bit, and increase the size just a bit. Then I'll click on the plus icon to duplicate this drop shadow, and now I'll increase the distance, lower the opacity, and increase the size. Again, this is very, just a bit. Don't overdo it. Now I'll repeat this same process 3 more times, or as many times as you desire. The idea is for you to have a nice and soft continuous shadow. So after adding all of my shadow layers, this is what the floor plan looks like. I don't know about you, but I really like this result. It's a very nice soft shadow, and paired with these pattern textures and with these these maximalist floor top view blocks, it just looks so good. So yeah, hope you guys liked it. So what did you think? Which hack did you like best? And which hack do you know that probably you think nobody else is using more often? Comment down below. I would love to create a second version of this video with more advanced Photoshop hacks for architects. Now, if you want to see more videos like these, click on this video right here, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We would really love to reach 500,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and your small contribution can probably make that happen. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.